that?
You like my selfie?
Oh my God, that is the best. I didn't even get a chance to change my picture because I've been doing show research.
You have, and I have been as well. I actually jotted down some topics for tonight, which is, like, I think, a first in brilliant show history where we actually maybe planned ahead. So I wonder if what I came up with correlates with what you came up with.
I know, like, I wonder if it's the same thing.
I don't know. We'll have to see. But anyway, it is the Brilliant Show. I'm Scotty Brilliant. Brother John, how are we?
Yo, 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 yo.
It's been a while, man. We didn't get to a show last week.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there. The week just kind of got away from us.
It did. Well, you got you just started I don't want to say new job, but a new position at an old company, right?
No, new company, but old like client from another company.
Old client. Okay. That's what I meant. That's right.
Yeah.
And what was I doing? I was back and forth between my parents' house in Jersey and back here in Pennsylvania. I was planning on coming back Saturday, seeing B. Mike. And, but
you didn't get to see him?
No, well, we got like snowed in. I mean, I think South Jersey got hit harder than Pennsylvania for as far as snow. So Saturday it was just a mess.
It's bad everywhere up there.
Oh yeah, I mean this winter has been brutal. Coldest days on record. And it's been pretty cold. But I feel like if it's negative anything, it all just feels the same. Like if it's below zero, it doesn't matter if it's -3 or -300. It's just cold as hell.
When it's stabbing you in the bones, it's all the same. It doesn't matter from 20 degrees to -20. It's just painful.
Yes, it just sucks. I mean, there's nothing worse than cold wind. Like it's bad enough that it's cold, but when it's windy, like 50-mile-an-hour winds, that's just Mother Nature trying to play a cruel joke.
It pierces you.
Oh, it's horrible. Yeah. So I mean, luckily I'm not up out and about real early in the morning, so it's not that bad by the time I roll out. But I had to take Ben to preschool this morning, and it was definitely cold, like 9 o'clock this morning. But this is boring. So what's going on with you, John? Anything new?
Yeah, we were just talking about the weather.
I know.
Welcome, everyone. You're listening to the weather from the past.
I'm sure people tuned out already.
Well, I just wanted to get into the Oscars. I mean, so much fallout and weirdness from the Oscars. I didn't even know what topic to pick. Could we talk about Travolta and how he's just transformed into the weirdest human being alive?
So weird.
Could we focus on all the women equal rights, women equal rights, or whatever it was? That was weird. That kind of came out of nowhere. All the suicide talk.
Yeah.
Neil Patrick Harris.
Yeah. Well, there was a lot going on. I mean, I guess my main problem with the Oscars is that the SpongeBob movie was not nominated, nor did it win. I just actually saw that today. I took Ben to go see the SpongeBob movie, and that should have been one of the nominated movies for Movie of the Year or Best Picture or whatever.
Best animated feature. That was that weird Robot 6 or
Big Hero 6. Yeah, we saw that too.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
That one.
Disney, of course.
Oh, is that a Disney?
Yeah, it's a Disney. Yep.
They just pump out $100 million films.
Dude, and Ben cried through the whole thing. And when we went and saw SpongeBob today, and at the end of it, he's like, "Daddy, are you proud I didn't cry?" But, he had just reason for crying during Big Hero 6 because in every Disney movie, the parents die and the kid's brother died, so he had no family left. His parents were already dead, and his brother died in, some huge building explosion. So, I don't know what Disney is trying to do to kids, but Ben cried through the whole thing. Is he going to see his brother again? Where are his parents? And I'm like, it's all right, Ben. They'll be back,
If you think about it, in The Lion King, his dad dies.
Falls to his death by his brother. By his brother.
What are other Disney movies?
Bambi gets shot.
Bambi, that
by a hunter.
Brutal. That is the scariest one.
Oh, dude.
But yeah, they kill off parents to suck you in, I guess. Even in what was that? Land Before Time.
Oh wow, I remember that one.
Remember Littlefoot?
Yeah. Wow, that was kind of like the Disney movie Forgotten. I I forgot about Land Before Time. That was Disney, right?
Yeah. That was one of their early ones.
Wow.
But but overall, I got stuck on the whole women equal pay, equal. I can't remember what it's called, equal earnings, where they were saying, it's time to start paying women the same amount as men, basically. Yeah. And I'm like, well, wait a second. How differently are they paid? Like, when did this become a thing? Like, what male actors are making so much more than all the women?
I have no idea. That was Patricia Arquette. I don't know if anybody else mentioned that besides her in her acceptance speech.
And Meryl Streep got up and raised the roof.
Oh yeah, I don't know where it was. Oh, did she say the same thing? I didn't know that Meryl Streep got involved.
She stood up in the crowd and pointed to her like a gangster.
Yeah, because I'm sure Meryl Streep is real hard up for money.
I know. Well, so I did some investigative journalism. And I was like, all right, well, what are the top 10 female earners in the last 15 years? Like, per movie, who gets paid the most? So at the top, number 10, we have Jennifer Aniston with $11 million. Then we have Kristen Wiig with $12 million.
Wow.
I know. Meryl Streep, $12 million. Just making Meryl Streep money. Sarah Jessica Parker, $15 million. Julia Roberts, 16, Charlize Theron, 18, Angelina Jolie, 20, Sandra Bullock, 25, Cameron Diaz, 35, and number one...
Wait, let me try to guess. It's number one.
It's a shocker, and I can give you a hint if you need one.
Okay, and I'm going to guess it's probably not like an award-winning actress. It's probably like someone like Jennifer Lopez or something stupid.
You're on the right track. Not J-Lo, though.
Okay. Oh, man.
Do you want a hint?
Jeez. Yeah, I want a hint.
She's in a franchise that's huge.
Franchise? Wow. I'm a little tired, so my mind is dead, but a franchise that's huge. Okay, the chick from Twilight.
Yes! Yeah.
Really? Nuh-uh.
Well done.
Nuh-uh. She's like 25 or something. She's the highest paid actress right now?
Kristen Stewart earns $36 million an episode. Now,
God,
the only man, the highest paid man in the last 10 years, 15 years, per movie.
I think I have an idea who the highest paid. Okay, go ahead.
Was who?
I would say George Clooney.
No.
Really?
Yeah.
How about that chode that's opposite of her in the Twilight movies?
No.
Wouldn't that make sense?
No, not that.
Why not him? I don't understand. Why, if she's the highest paid actress in the Twilight movies, isn't Twilight more geared towards the girls? So wouldn't he be more of a hotter commodity than she would?
Well, no, because they're geared towards girls, so the girl has to be like the main character. You know what I mean? Like, the girl is the show. It's all around her. You know.
Okay, that's the point. So the highest paid actor.
Yeah. Per movie, last 15 years.
Last 15 years. And not Clooney.
No. I'm sure it's close. No, not Pitt.
Matthew McConaughey.
No, it's not one of these guys that you're naming, but when I name him, you're going to go, oh, of course.
Oh,
he's kind of like, he's a weird guy. He's kind of flies under the radar.
Joaquin Phoenix? No.
No.
He's a weird guy.
Yeah, I know. Now you're going off weird.
Sean Penn?
No. Kind of a good guess, though.
I don't know, man.
All right, ready?
Yeah.
Johnny Depp.
Oh, yeah. Okay. All right.
Captain Jack Sparrow. What did he make in millions per movie?
Okay. I would say...
Remember, Kristen Stewart's 36.
I'd say he's probably less. I'm going to go with $25 million a movie.
35.
So he's less than Kristen Stewart.
Right. So the highest paid female actress, or the highest paid actor in Hollywood is a female.
Yeah. So there you go, John. You did some investigative journalism, and you proved a point to negate their point, to negate Patricia Arquette's point at the Oscars.
Now,
so you win.
Yeah,
1 point for you.
Yeah, and I am for equal pay and all that stuff. But, I mean, it seems to be equal. I mean, this is a very small sample size, but still. Let's go to the top. Who's making the most? It's a woman. So calm down. And I don't know if anybody saw this, but I was watching the Oscars. I feel like it was like the Super Bowl. Like I started at noon watching like coverage, all day long.
And you just can't stop.
Yeah, I'm sucked into it. And Kelly Osbourne's been on my television for 4 hours with her purple cotton candy hair. And they interview Patricia Arquette before the show starts. She's kind of like hanging out in the theater, but like the seats are all empty. She's kind of like just chilling there. And they're like, interviewing her, and I swear she was bombed. She was loaded, like couldn't make sense. So the girl interviewing her was like, all right, well, we're going to go right back to you. And, the person on the other end, like, wasn't ready, and they were like, oh, I'm the hero of the Ryan Seacrest. Oh, wait, no. He interviews other people. It was strange. So I think she's a bit of a weirdo. Is she married, or is she related to David Arquette?
Yes.
That guy.
And Rosanna Arquette. They're all brother and sister, I believe.
Oh.
Yeah, they're all strange. Yeah, she's a weirdo. And like, with Patricia Arquette, like I remember she was in a TV show that my mom used to watch, where she like was like a ghost whisperer, not like the one, oh God, what the hell was it? I'd have to look this up. She like saw ghosts or something, and that's all I remember her being in. I remember Rosanna Arquette from like 80s movies, and of course David Arquette. Like I don't know what like obviously she was in a movie recently if she won Best Supporting Actress. But, it's kind of like she's like one of these people, you know her name, and you kind of know her face because she's got real bad teeth, but you're like, I don't really know what she's in,
Yeah, right. It's like I recognize the name, but I don't know. I'm not like a fan of hers. I just recognize her name, maybe because it is a famous last name, and maybe that's what it was. But yeah, I have no idea what she's from. She was in Boardwalk Empire like 2 seasons ago.
Okay.
And she was like a contact down here in Tampa.
Yeah,
actually.
She's been in like just random stuff. I feel, but I mean, I feel like these actors and actresses, when they win the awards, it's just a platform for them to come up with some sort of
agenda, propaganda.
Yeah, just something for them to rally behind and then speak about it. And like, I don't know, some of it's cool. Like, I didn't like the whole Common and John Legend thing. How they were like talking about, like, yeah, I understand what they were saying about how there's more blacks incarcerated than there were slaves back in the day. But like, that's not really helping their cause. Like, if anybody's incarcerated, that means they did something bad. They broke the law. So like, I kind of understood where he was going. Like but he should have kind of veered it around and been like, yeah, there's more blacks incarcerated than there were slaves. We need to make a difference. We need to get we need to get all like our people on the right track. Because It kind of just sounded like he just ended it there, and it's like, oh, okay, so what does that mean? Like, we should free everybody that's in jail?
Yeah, yeah. I know. I felt like he could have handled that differently, and it sounded racist. Like he was like, well, it's like, first of all, John. And Common, the population compared to when there were slaves is quite different. There was like 100 black people over here during now there's like more blacks than whites. So obviously that's going to be the case. And it's not because it's an unfair police system. It's because there are people out there who just choose to not follow the rules.
Exactly.
Follow the rules and nothing can go wrong. There's millions of people who do it every day and don't have a problem. Just obey the law. Don't be a maniac.
Very true. Words of advice.
And then the one kid talked about how he tried to commit suicide, and oh my gosh, I was like, I mean, it's good and everything, bring awareness to that scary stuff. And people, I always said the best thing that my dad ever did for me was he never like sugarcoated anything. If I ever asked him something that, a young child would get like a fake answer because it's just too crazy, my dad wouldn't give me the fake answer. He would always answer honestly. And that always kind of helped me with the, shittiness of life. It's like life can get very ugly.
Well, and I agree, and I see the point of that. His name is like Graham Moore or something. He wrote the screenplay for The Imitation Game, and I could see what he was saying, because I mean, obviously he was he is a gay individual, a homosexual, if you will.
He's gay.
And, hey, I'm sure he must have got teased and on the verge of suicide, and then he thought, hey, I can do this, and now he's winning an Oscar. Like, yeah, we understand. But, like, it's almost like if you're going to, like, pick a platform and you're going to talk about it, like, at least kind of have, like, a direction you're going to go in, because it's like you have your 30 or 45 seconds to shine before they cue the music, like, kind of like on a smaller scale, kind of like a radio break. You know, get in, get out, and make your point. And I think a lot of these... if we're going to dissect all of these speeches, I think a lot of these people didn't know how to get out. So you could tell he was getting somewhere, but then it just kind of died out.
He started it off like, when I was 12 years old, I tried to commit suicide. I was like, wait a minute, this sounds like, the beginning narration of a 2-hour, like, Lifetime movie. You don't have a lot of time up there, man. How are you going to wrap this one up? Everybody was like, whoa! And then when everyone got over the shock, the speech was over.
Yeah, I know.
I think he's saying that suicide's bad and be weird. Oh yeah, it was hashtag be weird all over.
Be weird.
I was following the Oscars on Twitter.
Be weird. Well, I just had a random thought when we were talking about this. What if I would love to do if I had any skill editing video. I mean, I took a class in college. That was 10 years ago. I would get the video of him giving that speech, and then at the end of it, showing a crowd reaction. I would take video from like Showtime at the Apollo or something, or like Soul Train or some black, where everybody's like, "Woo!" Like,
dude, you can do the audio.
No, but like when they show people in the audience, not Showtime at the Apollo. Is that Showtime at the Apollo when they like people like boo people off stage if they're like the comics and stuff? Like, like the crowd is like really intense. Yeah,
I thought you meant like you would play like when I was 12 years old. I tried to commit suicide, and then everyone just laughing, like, or booing. That'd be funny. Either one would be really good. And how about John Travolta?
Oh man.
I want him to be normal, but he's just not.
He's not normal. No, somewhere it went wrong with him. I mean, I think for maybe like a small amount of time he was like a normal person.
Yeah.
And something didn't go right. And
snapped.
His son died, right?
Yeah.
I wonder if that messed him up a little bit. And then he got accused, remember, of like trying to have sex with like a massage boy or something.
Like a bunch of massage boys.
Yeah, which is, and whatever happened with that? It got dismissed?
They just like tucked it under the rug. I don't know. I don't know how that just like fizzled out. But
I have no idea. That touching of the face.
He goes on stage with the girl whose name he mispronounces last year. I wish we had the audio of that. He's like, and now
Adele Dazeem.
Yeah.
That's what he said when her name is Idina Menzel.
Adele Dazeem. And he comes out to like basically apologize, but like touches her face over and over. Like I'm watching it, dude, and I'm like, oh God, like stop! Like, what are you doing? Stop touching her face. He just kept going back to it.
I was waiting for the punchline. I thought it was going to lead to like something funny. Like I thought he was going to say, "Oh, what's more awkward than me last year? Me this year?" But nothing ever came of it, and it was just weird. Him touching her face, but it was funny how. Neil Patrick Harris made a joke about it. Like late. I thought he was funny, and he caught a lot of flack. People didn't think he was funny, but I thought he had some pretty good one-liners. There was a couple of times where he kind of was a little late on the punchline, or he kind of went sour. Like when he was going through the audience and he was saying like, "Oh, are you a seat holder? Are you a seat holder?" And then he approached Steve Carell, and you could tell he kind of like didn't know what to say because Steve Carell was being funny, and Neil didn't know how to like come back at him.
Right,
there was like a big pause, but I thought he was pretty good. I mean, I thought he like had some pretty off-color jokes which were funny, and he kind of like he brought the show into his humor. He kind of like was like off the cuff. I don't know if somebody was feeding him jokes somewhere, like if he had an earpiece and somebody, or if he just was coming up with it, like improvising it. I don't know.
Like after what's his name, J.K. Simmons won. He goes, he won an Oscar. Bum, ba-da-dum, bum, bum, bum.
Yes, for the farmers insurance. Yes, I thought that was awesome.
And he said something like, "Oh, and John Travolta, keep your hands to yourself," or something like that. Like afterwards, I wonder. There's probably like a team like monitoring Twitter and what people are talking about, and they just feed it to Neil, and he just comes up with a joke.
I would assume, because I mean, unless he's just that quick. I mean, I know he's a kind of a funny guy, but I mean, I didn't know he was like
he's not like
usually that. Well, like Billy Crystal was very good, improvising and and like Whoopi Goldberg and stuff. But but Neil Patrick Harris, he's more of like a, obviously like an actor.
Yeah. But he's good at hosting those shows. So
Yeah, I think he was pretty good.
I can tolerate him. I think he's like the only guy I know for sure I can just handle. He's just not over the top, and when he is, it's like a big joke.
Yes, I thought he was good. And you know what? Now that I think about it, because I forget who I was talking to the other day, and they were like, "Yeah, I don't watch." That was a buddy of mine. He's like, "Yeah, I don't watch like the award shows," and I usually don't. And I was thinking about why I watch the Grammys and why I watch the Oscars. It's because for the past 3 years I was working Sunday nights, and I wouldn't get to see them anyway. And I don't like them that much to TiVo them.
Right.
So now it's like, all right, well, I'm here. I might as well, watch it just to see what all the hype's about. And I feel like they're getting different. I feel like it's not as much about, well, the Oscars not so much, but like the Grammy Awards, I feel like it wasn't about like the awards anymore. It was more just about like
performances.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it is music, but I mean, the Oscars, I don't know. Just what are you wearing? Like, who are you wearing?
Yeah.
Like. It's like
I know those little interviews, like without "who are you wearing," they really have a hard time having like a 30-minute conversation with someone or a 30-second conversation. You know what I mean? They're like, "Oh, how you doing?" Like, "Oh, are you excited to be here? Who are you wearing?" Okay, and how did you get into this character for that movie? And then that's like it, like in and out, and it's always awkward. And some people like take too long to answer, and they have like someone in their ear going, "Okay, cut to Seacrest, get out of this conversation." Seacrest has Luke Wilson, cut to Seacrest.
Well, the whole "what are you wearing" thing is just so stupid because like the person that's sitting there watching the TV like doesn't care because you're not going to be able to afford the dress anyway that these people are wearing. So I'd like to have someone say like, "Oh, I don't know, I bought this dress at Kohl's." Like, what am I wearing? I don't know.
Yeah, I remember
it's the Kathy Ireland line at Kohl's.
Adam Sandler was like JC Penney's.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know. It's like, this is Julio Maluca. It's like all I think is that dress. That must mean it's like $2 million dress.
Oh, yeah. Well, a lot of these. I mean, I think most of them they wear the dresses by the designer, and it's like they're like $2 million dresses, but they don't keep them because they're basically there just they get a free dress for the night. And they just promote the designer like Vera Wang or something, and she gets her name out there, and it's a win-win.
Yeah.
Like a walking billboard. That's what they are. That's what it's about. They're like walking billboards.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Dress.
Oh, nice. You know what that Boyhood movie? Every time they show that Boyhood movie, they play that song. That's the theme song for it. That like folk type song.
What song? How does it go?
I'm gonna have to look it up now. Yeah, it's like dueling banjos.
I don't know what that movie's about. Is it about time travel?
It's called Hero by a band called Family of the Year. You might like it. It's like more of a folky song, but no, the song is the movie is Family of the Year. The movie is it's about no, not time travel. It's about it's Richard Linklater, which he directed. I don't know I think it might have been his first movie, Dazed and Confused.
Oh, wow. So,
it's one of my favorite movies of all time. So, like my brother's a big fan of him as a director.
Great.
And this movie, Boyhood, it took him 12 years to make because he started it 12 years ago when the kid was a boy. And then now he's like 17 or 18. He just finished it. So it's like a 3-hour movie. So it's basically, I heard there's not like a lot going on with like, there's no dramatic scenes or anything. It's just like spanning like how this kid grows up, like just dealing with everyday problems. And, yeah, I mean, just in itself that it took him 12 years, he would shoot for 2 weeks at a time every year.
Whoa.
So they would just, Ethan Hawke and Patricia Arquette, that's probably what she's been doing for the past 12 years, why we haven't seen her, but she, so, every 2 weeks, these people, or every 2 weeks out of the year, all these actors and everybody in the movie would get together. They'd shoot it. Done. Next year. Together. So,
oh, my God. Cool okay. No wonder it was up for awards because I was just like, well, what is it about? And that's why Birdman, everyone's like, oh, American Sniper should have won America. Birdman did their shots. Sometimes there's scenes that it's 20 minutes without cutting to another camera.
Really?
Yeah, like a single frame or a single shot. So,
did you see that movie?
No, but I've read a lot about it, and I heard it's. I want to see it. I love my.
Well, it looks like one of those like Fear and Loathing type movies where it's just strange angles and just weirdness. But it was just irony at its best when Sean Penn came out to present the Best Picture because Sean Penn is so liberal and Clint Eastwood is so Republican
Right-wing.
that, like I would love to see Sean Penn present Best Picture to American Sniper. It would have been funny. And that was another controversial thing was Sean Penn said, who gave the son of a bitch his green card, referring to the Mexican director that directed.
Oh yeah.
Birdman, and everybody took to Twitter and was like, "Oh, that's offensive." And they even interviewed the director, and he was like, "I directed Sean Penn in 21 Grams or one of his movies," and he's like, "We're like friends."
Yeah,
he's like, it didn't offend
that
me.
was a joke.
It was a joke. Like, come on, you know. And you could see because when he read it, it was funny because I was thinking about it. I'm like, wow, that's very not offensive, but that's very blunt. And I wanted to see how the guy, I forget his name, Iradu or whatever his last name is. Yeah. I wanted to see how he reacted when he got on stage, like if he would acknowledge Penn, and they gave each other this huge hug.
Really?
So obviously they were friends, and it was like me saying to you, like who gave the son of a bitch any airtime, like it was like a joke, It's
like if you don't understand that that's a joke, Sean Penn in front of millions of people making a racist comment.
Yes.
Come on. He's not that insane.
No. But, it's like everybody's got... That's the problem, with... I sound like an old fart, but that's the problem with, all the social media is that people are so quick.
Oh, yeah.
To jump on these things. And, I wanted to mention social media because, first of all, I wanted to talk about Thon this past weekend, how all the participants they raised over $13 million. I don't know if it beat last year's record.
Yeah, I don't think this was a record year for some reason because I feel like I would have seen that or heard that it was a record.
Well, they keep on topping it every year, so it's like once it gets to a certain point, it's kind of hard. Yeah. It gets more and more difficult. I mean, I think when I graduated, I think it was like 4 million, and then it just progressively got more and more each year.
Yeah.
So now it's like 13 million. But did you hear about the whole Keith Olberman
Twitter
thing?
I just heard about it.
What a scumbag! Like I don't know. I was always indifferent to him. Like whatever. If he was on, I'm not like a fan. Just like any of those guys. Like I care less about Bill O'Reilly or any of those people. But Keith Olberman, I guess somebody tweeted him. We are. I don't know why has he. Okay. I don't know the backstory here. Has he spoken out against Penn State a lot in the past? So did somebody egg him on by tweeting "We are," or do you not know?
It started when he said Penn State got away, with a lot. Like the NCAA the sanctions should have been harder on them. And now they have all this money back and they can give scholarships to get, athletes. And he's a fucking idiot. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know what he's doing. So then, on Twitter, during Thon, Olberman is tweeting out oh God, look how dumb they are. This is so dumb. These Penn State students, they're just such idiots. Just ripping us. And ESPN obviously saw it, and they suspended him for a week.
Yeah.
I was like, well, I think they should have suspended him forever.
I agree. I mean, look at Brian Williams. I mean, you can't really lie if you're a journalist, but I mean, what journalist hasn't lied? I mean, it's journalism. So you want to report stories that are true. You want to report the truth. That's the whole point of journalism, reporting the truth.
Right.
But I mean, he stretched his stories. They weren't complete lies. He just stretched them. And that's bad. And he should be punished. I mean, because he kind of took some I'm trying to think of the word. Attention away from the soldiers because he said his helicopter was getting shot at when in reality it wasn't his helicopter. His helicopter was miles away from the helicopter that was getting shot at, which actually had soldiers in it. But anyway, and you got Keith Olberman who is blatantly calling Penn State kids idiots, which is pretty much the lowest thing you could do. I mean, it's one thing to talk about the sanctions and to be against, that regime of football coaches that were around when this was going on and the Sandusky. But I mean, the students had nothing to do with it. And if you went to Penn State, I went to Penn State. Yeah. If you went to Drexel, I mean, you go to your school for a reason, so you're going to have pride in that school. Yeah. So to start up with 40,000 kids, calling them idiots and that their diploma is not going to mean anything, I was offended because I have a Penn State diploma, as do you. Yeah. And it's what do you? And I was looking at his Twitter because I don't know that much about him, and I see he went to Harvard. And I feel like writing something. I don't even know if you would read it, but I feel like getting on my Twitter account, which I rarely use, and being boy, if this is the product that Harvard is is producing, then
I'm glad.
maybe they should revoke your diploma, or like maybe your diplomas are meaningless if this is a product of Harvard.
Yeah, I'm glad I have mine from Penn State.
Me too. I mean, it doesn't. It's still Penn State. I mean, it's still a good school.
Largest alumni association in the country. Mm-hmm. So suck on that.
And I don't see any other school, including Harvard, raising $13 million for pediatric cancer. I don't see that anywhere else.
Yeah, all their money goes to the rowing team.
Yeah, he can shove it up his ass. I mean, I got I don't get fired up that much about these idiots that are, but it's like, it burns me up when we're in the same profession, more or less, and we're having a podcast from our house, and he's making millions talking shit on students of one of the best schools in the country.
The greatest college in the world. And I mean, exactly. It could be the worst college in the world. But why is he being such a dick?
Exactly. Very good point. Could be the worst college in the world. You shouldn't talk about somebody else's education and hard work. And, come on, man, you're the bigger man. You're getting paid more. You have more followers on Twitter. Like, just put it to rest, put it to bed, make a joke about it. Like, oh yeah, Penn State, great job what they did, with Thon, but I'm still not a supporter. Or like, just make like a joke about it. But like to go back and forth and insult.
Yeah.
And it's like reading these tweets, the students who are 18, 19 years old had more class and more integrity than this 50-year-old man.
Yeah, they made him look like, they let him make himself look like a fool.
Exactly.
Keith Olberman, along with what was his name, Craig Kilborn, I think.
Kilborn. Yeah.
They started the whole Sports Center revolution. They made it cool. They were really funny on it, and I love them, both of them, them and Dan Patrick, and then Stuart Scott came in later. But in the beginning, it was those guys, and now it's like his head is the size of my TV when I watch him. And he just believes that he's just spewing prophecies and Bible. Like his word is the word of God in the sports.
Yes, exactly.
And I just don't really. I'm disappointed in him, and I think I've written him off. He's dead to me.
Good. Yeah, I agree. I mean, like I said, I was never a big fan in the first place, but now it's like, I don't know. Maybe he lost a lot of fans. It looked like he did. I mean, he's still going to get paid. He's still going to have his job probably. But it'd be nice if he didn't have his job. If they got some young kid from Penn State who's, been trying for years to get on ESPN.
Yep.
Let him take over. Get rid of this clown.
Yeah, and they should probably just get the opposite of Keith Olberman and get someone who doesn't know anything about sports. Exactly. That's who I think they should give the job to.
I agree. So yeah, that was just something I actually just read about. I mean, I saw people posting stuff on Facebook, and I wasn't sure what was going on. So a few hours ago, I was just reading about it.
Of course, I saw Dan Newhart post something like Olberman bye or something like that, and I was and it said it said Penn State Keith Olberman ... and I was like, well, I don't know what that means, but Keith Olberman and Penn State must be going at it. I don't know why.
Yeah,
and then my dad told me about it tonight.
Yeah, he's such an idiot. And you know what? I don't know. Did you ever go into Thon? I was there when I was a student. I never went. I had some friends that were dancing there, so I went to visit them.
They were dancing.
Yeah, and you feel like such an asshole because it's like 2:00 in the morning and you're just getting out of the gingerbread man, and you're like, yeah, let's go see our friends at Thon, and they're like sweating and been standing for 48 hours, and you come in smelling like alcohol.
Yeah.
What an asshole. I felt so bad for it.
I remember walking in and seeing my friend who was working it. I saw her face when she saw me and my band of idiots. And instantly I was like, oh, we got to get out of here, guys. We can't be here. What the fuck are we doing? They're all physically spent and mentally spent, and we're coming in here drunk.
Yes. Exactly. Exactly. Oh man! But I remember with Quick Rock, I had a couple of, for I guess 2 years, I had a floor pass, so I went down on the floor, and it's really cool. I mean, I felt awkward still because I'm like, wow, I don't have no business being here. I didn't raise any money. I donated some money, but I didn't raise $1 million or anything. But it was still cool being down there and seeing all the energy, and I mean, it's a pretty big feat. I mean, have you ever been up from for 24 hours and you're delirious, and like I can't imagine tacking another 22 hours onto that.
And you can't sit down.
Can't sit down. No.
Oh, it's wonderful.
Yeah, yeah. It's a really cool thing. And that's like I think one of the best things about Penn State is that they have stuff like that. Yeah, just it was like night and day from the first college I went to, Salisbury University, to Penn State. Salisbury
Oh my
University.
God, I can't even imagine the change.
Yeah, it was
unreal.
Way different.
Total difference.
Way different.
So, Heather just landed at the airport in Fort Lauderdale. She was in.
Oh wow.
She went out of town Friday. Oh yeah, we talked about this. They were both in Atlanta, right?
Both in Atlanta. Yep.
Did you meet Evander, the real deal Holyfield?
I wasn't there. Natalie did. He was like the celebrity
sort of.
at this AMCO convention that she works for AMCO, and I think he cut the ribbon on this new facility or something. But you should say that. That would have been great if he said that. That would have been awesome if he just got on the mic.
Yeah. I think he's like a little brain damaged. I think.
Well, she did say that one of the funniest parts, the weekend was she was sitting, I guess, next to, some other guys in the company or some guys in the company, and so the one guy reminded her of my friend Matt, who's got a real dry sense of humor. And when Evander was talking, I guess he got up on the mic and talked. This guy was just making fun of everything he was saying because he was like he doesn't speak right, because he's not altogether
Tyson bashed his head in and then bit his ear off.
Yeah, that's right. That's what I said to Matt. I'm like, you think I could take him? And she's like, well, he wasn't that tall. I'm like, well, at least I know his weakness now. Biting his other ear off.
Right. You take his other ear. That'd be the end for him. But I remember Stern always plays like this prank phone call where they use his voice from when he was on the show, and he goes like this. It's like just mumbles.
That's why I don't understand. Why would you get him out of all the former celebrities or sports people you could get? You get a guy that you can't understand a word that he says to talk to a huge crowd.
Evander, the real deal Holyfield.
Well, it's funny because I was thinking about that. Maybe another boxer they could have got, but I was reading a men's fitness magazine or something that I had Men's Health, and they had this big long interview with him, and I'm like, well, I guess he is still pretty relevant. I don't know.
I mean, what is he doing besides AMCO commercials?
I have no idea. Oh, he did a commercial?
I don't know. I imagine now he has to. He's at the ribbon cutting ceremony.
Yeah.
Evander.
I don't know. Let me just see. I wonder when his last fight was, because I remember the Tyson fight, because I was at my my aunt's house in New York, and I remember they got it on pay-per-view. And I remember watching it when Tyson bit his ear, and then he bit it again, right? He bit it twice. He bit it on the rematch, right? He bit it.
No,
I think he
bit it in the match, and Holyfield got away, and then Holyfield ducked down and headbutted him right above his eye, where he got a huge gash where he needed stitches. So then Tyson, the next round, went out and bit his ear off.
Yeah, and then he bit him again. Here, look at this. Tyson initially, after intervened, said Holyfield could continue. He relented and allowed the fight to go on. Tyson bit Holyfield again, this time on the other ear. Tyson's teeth tore off a small section of the top of his opponent's ear, known as the helix, and spat that bit of flesh out onto the canvas.
What an animal. Dude, Tyson was the most engaging boxer since Holyfield, without question. You remember all his matches.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he was just an anomaly.
Yeah.
The guy was big and strong and not even that tall. He was my height, 5'9". But
faster than anyone.
He put all his power into his punches, which is, a lot of boxers can't ever perfect that, the moving of the hips just right to get that power. So all 225 pounds of him would just come smashing in the face.
I know. It's he would punch from his feet. All the power from his feet up was in that punch.
Yeah.
And you would just collapse.
I remember watching some of his fights, and I was like, this guy is. I I would run. I would run as fast as I could away.
I remember thinking, how would anybody box him? Like, why would anyone want to box him? And then that James Buster Douglas dropped him. I remember watching that on HBO. I don't know how old I was, 10 or 11. And it was like heartbreaking. I was like, oh my God. It was heartbreaking. I don't know if I was more upset about Mike Tyson losing the title or Hulk Hogan losing the title in WrestleMania 6 to the Ultimate Warrior.
It was a close one, huh?
So my brother and I were just in shock. Like, Hulk didn't really lose, right, John? That's what he said. I was like, I think he did.
It was a sad day in the house.
Yeah. So anyway, like I said, Heather landed in Fort Lauderdale, and now I have to go pick her up.
So she's
like halfway. I have to pick her up because she's getting a ride halfway.
So you got
I guess I got to roll. I mean, you said you got to be done by 9 to put Ben to bed anyway.
Yeah, well, it's kind of like a rough, estimate in time because, Nat got home. I never know when Nat's going to get in because sometimes she leaves like right at 5:30 and sometimes like today she got in at 7:30. So we ate dinner quick and I got to give her like a little bit of time to unwind, but she's been putting Ben to bed, getting his tub because, she doesn't see him all day. So I think I don't know, they're downstairs doing something. So, I mean, plus our show is more important than my marriage. It really is. I'd rather have her do all the house chores, put him to bed after she's worked the whole day. If we can just
I know. You should just be finding out a way to make this show and the site and the way that we broadcast it perfect, and then eventually just get paid for it.
But I think we'll be making money on this in no time, and then I won't even have to worry about a job because we'll just be living on Easy Street, getting paid millions per show.
That'll be that. That's the goal. That's the end game here.
Well, let's work on it. And I guess next week we keep on putting this off, but I did talk to Chris, our third partner in crime, and he has, I think, a couple ladies lined up. A couple. I don't want to say girlfriends because I don't know if Chris has ever gotten to that point, but a couple former
interests, love interests,
yes, and why things went wrong. So I know we keep on promoting it, but I think we can really get some going next week. I actually texted him, and he wasn't available tonight. But next week, he said Monday and Wednesday should be good. So I don't know if that's something you could work with.
Yeah, Monday or Wednesday is fine.
I know Wednesday's your date night.
Yeah, but we can shuffle it around.
All right, well, I'm not going anywhere this weekend, so I'll be around on Monday. So maybe we can shoot for Monday. We can see if we can book an appearance from one of his love interests.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, let's make this happen for either Monday or Wednesday.
All right, we will. So go get Heather, tell her I said hi, and I guess that does it for the Brilliant Show. Even though it smells funky, it's fresh.